With the NFL season coming to a close, teams are racing to clinch the remaining spots in the playoffs. CBS Sports senior NFL writer Will Brinson joins me now to talk about the weekend's highlights and which teams still have a chance. Thanks so much for joining us, Will. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're getting close to the end of the season, and hey, knock on wood, it looks like the NFL is going to jam this regular season into a pandemic.
It's almost unbelievable in some ways when you think about all at the beginning of this whole thing. Was it going to work? Was it not going to work? And here we are. The Kansas City Chiefs fans happy as their team locked up home field advantage and a first-round bye after pulling off a comeback win against the Atlanta Falcons. But what does the rest of the AFC's playoff picture look like? Is it kind of messy?
Oh, it's a hot mess stuffed inside a dumpster fire. I can't remember what the exact Jake Tapper quote was on that, but you get the point. Look, it's a situation where we basically have two teams in the Buffalo Bills who have clinched the AFC East and the Pittsburgh Steelers who have clinched the AFC North, battling for the number 2 and number 3 seed. Okay. It remains to be seen what they'll do with their starters in Week 17. The Bills should play, to the full capacity in Week 16 tonight against the Patriots. But the Steelers could easily rest their guys. The Browns are already 7-point favorites against the Steelers in Week 17 on the expectation that Mike Tomlin will sit everybody. As far as the wild card goes, and the Titans can be included in this, currently, the Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns are in the playoffs, and the Titans are the leader in the AFC South. If the Colts, if all of those teams, if the Titans, Ravens, Browns, and Dolphins win, the Colts are on the outside looking in. For the Colts to make the playoffs, they have two scenarios. In all of them, they have to win. And the Titans, they either need the Titans to lose, in which case they capture the AFC South, or one of Cleveland, Baltimore, or Miami to lose. It gets very confusing.
I'm very confused. I need a Venn diagram or something. Help me here.
Yeah, I need Kornacki, right? Like I need Kornacki at my house breaking this all down. But look, the bottom line is it's very possible that an 11-win team is going to miss the playoffs in the AFC because the Colts are playing the Jaguars at home. But I think you look at all these teams that are in the wild card, 3 of them control their destiny: the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Ravens. If they win, they're in. The Colts need some help from one of those 4 teams to get in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm a Viking fan, which is it's a sad state of affairs most years. And so I hate talking about the Green Bay Packers because they're obviously our biggest rival. But man, Aaron Rodgers had a great game against the Tennessee Titans that I couldn't believe it. Vaulted them to the top of the NFC's playoff standings. What should we expect from the rest of the conference in the final week of the season?
Yeah, by the way, it also vaulted Aaron Rodgers to the number 1 spot in the MVP odds on William Hill. He's now like minus 165, was 2-1 a couple weeks ago. So Aaron Rodgers looks like he's probably going to win MVP. So the NFC race is a little bit clearer, but not a whole lot clearer, right? So the Packers look like a good bet to get the number 1 seed. They have to win in Week 17 to avoid the Seahawks catching them. Okay. Then after that, you have the Saints who have already clinched the NFC South. The Buccaneers are into the playoffs. And what it comes down to is Chicago, Arizona, and the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams and the Cardinals play in Week 17. The Bears control their own destiny. If the Bears beat the Packers in Week 17, a Packers team that, again, is going to care about Week 17, the Bears will be in. If the Bears lose to the Packers, they can still get in if the Rams beat the Cardinals. But if the Cardinals beat the Rams, it's going to be Arizona and L.A. that get in. So, and L.A., by the way, missing their starting quarterback more than likely. Jared Goff appears to have suffered a broken thumb. Oof. So not exactly great news for the Chicago Bears on that front.
I suppose you need your thumb too, don't you?
Yeah. Right-hand thumb, football player, quarterback, pretty important.
Oh, that's tough. So the NFC East has been chaotic this whole year, and the winner of the division will have a losing record. So with 1 week to go, what does each team need to actually make the playoffs here?
This is actually kind of easy, and it's a reason why the NFL flexed the Washington and Philadelphia game to Sunday night. That'll be the final game of the regular season, 8:20 on NBC with Al and Chris. And how this works is Washington controls their own destiny. If Washington wins against the Eagles on Sunday night, they are in. If Washington loses, then the winner of Dallas versus New York earlier in the day on Sunday in Week 17 will be in the playoffs. Where it gets really tricky is that the Washington football team has a whole hot mess at the quarterback position. As you may recall, we had, and I'm trying to look to see, I think there was some breaking news coming down on this. Taylor Heineke will play for the Washington football team. He came in or a bench Dwayne Haskins if Alex Smith is unable to go. Alex Smith unable to play for Washington because he has a calf injury, and his calf injury is exacerbated because they took part of his calf muscle and took it off his calf to repair his fractured leg that he suffered a few years ago. So sort of a dicey situation with Alex Smith. Dwayne Haskins, not active, the former first-round pick, or at least will probably be, the third-string quarterback here because of several situations. One involving last week when, in the middle of a pandemic, he hung out maskless with exotic dancers following a loss while the team was in a division title race. The team didn't like that, obviously, because it's a bonehead thing to do. And then this week, he bolted early from the stadium and didn't do a Zoom call with the media because he thought that Taylor Heineke, as the quarterback who finished the game, would do that, even though every NFL quarterback should know if you started the game and get benched in the game and your team's in the playoff race, you're probably going to have to answer questions to the media. He later did one from home. It's a whole mess, and Washington now needs to find a miracle against a Philly team that's eliminated on Sunday night. I think that Philly is a slight favorite in this game. Pretty much a toss-up, though. Washington certainly would love to have a healthy Alex Smith in there.
I feel like you can't make this stuff up. Like, it's almost like a soap opera meets sports.
It's insane. Like, literally, he went and hung out at a party with exotic dancers, and that's why he's not playing in week. Like, it's crazy. Like, what are we doing here? It's 2020 in a nutshell. Let's just hope that 2021 is a little more normal.
Yeah, well, before I let you go, the Jacksonville Jaguars have clinched the #1 pick in next year's draft after losing to the Chicago Bears. But fans seem to be happy about that. Can you explain this?
Oh, yeah, fans are thrilled about it, and they should be thrilled. They don't have to sweat Week 17 against the Colts because the Jets now have 2 wins. The Jaguars have 1. Even if the Jaguars were to beat the Colts, and they're a 14-point dog, and as we pointed out, Indianapolis needs to win, the Jaguars would still retain the #1 pick, and that means more than likely that they will get Trevor Lawrence, who is the superstar Clemson quarterback. He's actually playing on Friday, I believe, right? Yeah, Friday night in the playoff. Against Ohio State, the first game of that. So Jaguars fans, that's the game they care about this weekend, not their actual game. Lawrence, one of the 4 best quarterbacking prospects of the last 30 or 40 years, along with Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, and John Elway, in my opinion. Lawrence is dynamic. He is a tremendous runner, a very wise beyond his years passer, and an absolute gold mine for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville, please don't screw him up.
I guess if you can't be the best, it's good to be the best of the worst.
That's right. If you're not gonna win the Super Bowl, you might as well get the #1 overall pick.
There you go. Will, thank you so much.